Madam Mayor, it is 5 p.m. and we are live.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Special City Commission meeting of March 31st to 2025. May I have the roll call, please?
Mayor Betty Resch,
Here.
Vice Mayor Sarah Malika,
Present.
Commissioner Christopher McVoy,
Here.
Commissioner Mimi May,
Here.
Commissioner Ronaldo Diaz.
Present.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Mimi May.
You. Me.
You know it.
I know it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The new business, Resolution 15-2025, accepting the certified results of March 25, 2025 municipal runoff election. Madam Clerk, do you have one, or would you just say it?
We don't need to read the resolution.
Okay, we don't, okay. Someone make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Say by
Aye.
aye. Thank you.
Aye.
And now we have some comments from Ronaldo Diaz, our outgoing official.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? This is where I'm supposed to come and say like really super positive thoughts and all that, but quite frankly, it's not all positive. There's a lot to be concerned about. This is my hometown. I grew up here, and I obviously I was still the better choice, but Anthony, you made it, so congratulations. I'm glad you made it through the second round because when we've chatted over the phone, I think you stood out as somebody who maybe more willing to step out of your comfort zone, maybe listen to others, and that's really what matters. I think the important takeaway here is the city is really diverse. There is a lot of challenges for sure, and the biggest challenge is always balancing the voices of everyone in the community. And more often than not, you'll hear comments like, well, if people cared about an issue, whatever, they should be here. But the thing is, you have to understand that, when it comes to our meetings and even language barriers, especially through email, phone calls and whatnot, there are some really serious limitations that you need to overcome. And you just need to come away and realize that the majority of our city looks like me, basically. They look like they're exhausted because their toddler threw an epic tantrum before coming here, but they look tired, they're overworked, they're just surviving, they're struggling to survive. And yesterday we walked through the Pride Parade, which is always a fun event, and that is everyone's celebrating, everyone's really happy because it's something to be proud of. But there's always that underlying thing of there's a community who's living with a considerable amount of fear and worry about what is going to happen in their near future. Not necessarily just because of Lake Worth Beach, but just in the world in general. And similarly in our city, you have the community that I grew up out of, which is our Central American community. I know you're a smart guy. You know world history. My parents, where they're from and why they're here and the things that they've endured. Well, those many people are still enduring the same thing, and then they come here and they really just want a peaceful existence, and they want to be able to live their lives and survive and provide an incredible life for their kids, like my parents were able to do to me, and like I'm passing on to my kid, I'll do. And that's not often reflected up here on the dais. And I hope that you, Anthony, or now soon to be Commissioner Cedrich, that you really keep that in mind. Regardless of your personal thoughts or feelings on the community, you really got to represent in an equitable and an empathetic way, because there is, I know you know this because we've talked about it in the phone. When you knock on the doors, the issues and the things that people are dealing with. You were actually out there like I was, talking to people in the community. And let me tell you, well, I don't need to tell you, but maybe the rest of the audience don't know. things like WMODA and parking garages, those aren't even in the top 10 of most of our community's concern. Just because they're not here in meetings and providing comment, that doesn't mean that their voice isn't warranted and needs to be heard. And that's really, something that is just so difficult to really like categorize and describe about this job. Is there are so many voices, there's so many ears out there that really want you to represent them, and they can't always be here. They're tired, they're working, they're just trying to survive. There's language barriers, as you know. There's very real, very serious issues, and people in many different communities are living with a tremendous amount of fear. And as you sit up here, a lot of decisions that you make will impact their daily lives. The number one job that we do as a city commissioner is you pass the city budget, right? That's, if you can go home at the end of the day almost after that. But the other thing that we do is you drive development, you drive growth in this town. And the way that you do that is I just hope that you maintain kind of I think I've been fairly balanced. I have a pretty good voice of reason up here. At least it's what people will describe me as. And what you really have to do is, even the people who are not at every single meeting or not in this sitting in those seats, you need to think about the decisions you're making and how that might impact them. We have a city that has a high amount of renters. These are people who, if they could, they would own a home, but they're not quite there yet. They're struggling. You know what the situation is like. The decisions that you make in growth management really can help that situation. This is where it happens. This is where local government is where most of the environmental harm happens. This is where most of the bad decisions that impact people's daily lives, that's where it happens. Luckily, I don't think we do that necessarily here, but here in Lake Worth Beach, we can, make decisions that truly benefit our community. And I just want you to really be conscious. You have really good people in the audience right now, like Father Frank and Mariana, and people who really speak to these communities. And I just want to make sure that those voices continue to be heard. Other than that, some words of advice: don't read your backup on your phone late at night if that's the only time you get, because it will destroy your eyesight.
Right.
Ask me how I know. And yeah, and I guess we have a long-standing tradition between Herman and I. He had this purple jacket. It's behind the door in the office. You'll see it. When you take the portrait, I suggest you wear it. Maybe that's why you were destined to win, because I think you'll fit in the jacket like I did. And we should keep that tradition going. It's purple, although now you're, oh, okay. Well, he took the purple. Okay, that's fine. And yeah, I mean, you have my number, I still live here. Again, it's my hometown. There's definitely some things I can pass the baton on to you. But one thing I hope that you bring to this commission is, sometimes it can be heated and things are said that, often when you teach kids, you tell them, hey, like, careful what you say, because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. Well, it's extremely true up here. All the cameras, this is all being live streamed. So you really got to be conscious of that, especially in how you treat each other, right? And tonight, your first meeting is a good one.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna have to call you guys out. Sorry, but sometimes it happens. But when this was brought up by Commissioner McVoy, it was brought up with some skepticism, right? Well, there was when it was brought up. I keep asking for a new chair. Maybe you'll get the new chair. It slowly sinks, but so when this was brought up by Commissioner McVoy, there was a little bit of hesitancy. It was brought up probably a little bit last minute. There was a 3-page thing, and it was like, oh my gosh, how could we even consider this? It's, why is this on agenda, this and that? And then we had a short conversation, and it turns out we all agree of how important this is. And, there really is, as we're well aware, a history or a past in this city and lack of decorum in meetings, not by this commission, but others. let's not make national news like previous commissions, but and I don't think you'll do that. I think I think you're a pretty level-headed guy. I really appreciate that about you, and I think I hope and counting on you to bring that to this commission to just kind of help temper the flames when they peak up.
Thank you, Mr. Diaz. And on behalf of the commission, we have a tiny little remembrance for you. Presented to Ronaldo Diaz, City Commissioner, District 4, 2022 to 25. Thank you for your service to our city and for your stewardship of Florida's natural waters. So.
Thank you. And I would be remiss to say, thank you to staff, especially like Jamie, when you stepped in, a lot changed for sure. A lot was getting done. So there's a long to-do list. I'll pass it to you eventually. This wouldn't be the time for it, but there's a lot of good staff out there. I mean, I'm not going to name names because there's too many. I'll leave some out, but you're going to need them for sure. Count on them.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Think so. I don't remember.
I don't remember. We don't do this.
Thank you very much. Ronaldo, is that your umbrella? Okay. It's the District 4 umbrella now. Oh, okay. Okay, where is it? I didn't realize we did that. Kara Jennings.
Kara Jennings, 822 North C Street. Yeah, I wanted to take a moment to recognize Ronaldo and the historic role he played on the commission. I think we had one Latin city commissioner prior to him, so and that was not in recent time, that was in the 80s.
Jose Sosa, 90s.
In the 90s. So
Late 80s.
yeah, Ronaldo really stepped up to fill a role when it was needed, and he put a lot of heart into this work. And having a baby is not easy, as a lot of us know. So through like an incredibly exhausting time of his life, he kept showing up, and so I really commend him for his work. It is unfortunate the amount of money being spent on our city elections. It seems par for course now to spend $50,000 to win a commission seat. And at one point, the commission was looking at our own version of reform around campaign expenses. I don't know if the state's outlawed that at this point, but if not, it would be interesting to really take a look at how the cost of winning an election impacts who can run, who can consider running, and how viable it is for them to win. I'm not saying money bought the election, but we all know campaign money helps when you're running for office. And then also I wanted to just compliment Commissioner McVoy for his significant win as an incumbent and an anti-incumbent time. You ran against an incredible opponent who has really put a lot of love into the city. So to beat Carla Blockson, I think, is a testimony to the amount of public support you have, even though some of your colleagues, vocally endorsed her over you. So I think we should all really give Commissioner McVoy his due respect for winning his seat, despite the odds, really, given the time and place that we're in right now. So thank you, Commissioner McVoy, for returning and for all the wonderful work you're going to do.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up on the agenda is the swearing in of newly elected officials, starting with District 2, Christopher McCoy.
Side am I on?
You're on that side. He's on this side with the mic. Is it on? Yes.
Well, that's generally,
No politics. Keep your left hand in your pocket. Thank you. First of all, just may I say, what a pleasure and an honor this is. I love to be with the servants of the community and to tell you how much we appreciate you. Shouldn't be here today because my cold is worse than yours.
then God bless you because it's not good.
So Marianne is going to stick by me and make sure that we do it. You know what's interesting before I get started? Can you read it?
Yeah.
It says B-I-B-I.
BIBIA, yeah.
Oh,
Is that Spanish? Well, I don't know what that is. And I don't like pop quizzes.
oh, good for you. Sorry to do this. It's a
King James?
Haitian Bible,
But is it King James?
is it? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then you can go
King-
ahead.
King James.
King James.
King James knew Haitian Creole. Oh, you're giving him more credit than I would. Anyway, there you go. I, Christopher McVoy, a citizen of the city of Lake Worth Beach, state of Florida and of the United States of America.
I, Christopher McVoy, a citizen of the city of Lake Worth Beach, the state of Florida, and the United States of America,
And being an officer of the city of Lake Worth Beach and a recipient of public funds as such an officer,
and being an officer of the city of Lake Worth Beach and a recipient of public funds as such officer,
do hereby solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of the state of Florida and the Charter of the city of Lake Worth Beach.
do hereby solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Florida and the charter of the city of Lake Worth Beach,
And that I am entitled to hold office under the Constitution and Charter of the city of Lake Worth Beach,
and that I am entitled to hold office under the Constitution of the United States and the charter of the city of Lake Worth Beach.
That's why they call you landslide. Huh?
Yeah.
And that I will faithfully perform all the duties of the office of Commissioner, District 2 of the city and of Lake Worth Beach, on which I am to enter.
And that I will faithfully perform all the duties of the office of Commissioner, District 2 of the city of Lake Worth Beach, on which I am about to enter.
Sorry, I'm in this mess.
You're
But
doing
God,
fine.
God bless you.
Thank you, Father Frank. Thank you for all you've done for our community.
No.
And thank you for hiking up.
All that's being done.
Thank you. And now coming up, we have Anthony Segrich being sworn in as District 4 Commissioner.
I state your name,
Segrich,
a citizen of the city of Lake Worth Beach,
citizen, city of Lake Worth Beach,
the state of Florida, and of the United States of America,
state of Florida, United States of America,
and being an officer of the city of Lake Worth Beach
being an officer of the city of Lake Worth Beach,
and a recipient of public funds as such officer,
the recipient of public funds as such officer,
do hereby solemnly swear or affirm
do hereby solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Florida
and of the state of Florida,
and the Charter of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
Charter of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
and that I am entitled to hold office
that I am entitled to hold office
under the Constitution
under the Constitution,
and Charter of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
Charter of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
and that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
all the duties of the Office of Commissioner,
all the duties of the Office of Commissioner,
District 4
District 4
of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
of the City of Lake Worth Beach,
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I'm about to.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you could just sign. I'll email you a copy.
So now we have comments by Mr. McCoy. And Mr. Segrich, you're allowed to come up here now. Come on up. Your whole new perspective. Congratulations. They're on it.
Yes, we are.
I have a
Right.
Would one of the kind gentlemen at the back of the room see if my wife is possibly outside? I got into a good deal of trouble for forgetting once before.
Well, she should pay attention.
Well, she's probably, there we are.
There she
Okay.
is.
First, I'd like to thank a number of people who helped get us to where we are now. I'd like to thank the volunteers, the many dedicated Lake Worth Beach residents who volunteered their time and energy for local democracy and for a vision of a community-centered Lake Worth. I'd like to thank the financial supporters. No outside money, no PAC money with disclosure deadlines well after the election. I'd like to thank my inspiring wife, Krim, for truly, it is a blessing to be able to share a deep commitment to human rights for all, a commitment to community service, a commitment to faith in action. I'd like to thank our daughters, Laura and Sophia, who, albeit grudgingly, understand the motivation for public service and grudgingly support. And thank you to our voters, to the many Lake Worth residents who I was fortunate enough to speak with in person at their doors. One of the most heartwarming aspects of winning was that this was a win not for me, but for our community, and that many in our community felt they had gained a voice in City Hall. Elected officials are sometimes accused of having a personal agenda. I definitely have one. My personal agenda, supported by voters, is something like this: to give a voice to those who may not find it as easy to be heard in City Hall, to carry out our governmental obligation to protect human rights for all in our community, to make decisions based on facts, with those facts as complete and as openly shared as possible, to be wise in the use of public funds entrusted to us, and to do so for the benefit of the most in our community, to truthfulness and transparency in governance, to enhance, not diminish, our community's historical, creative, even quirky character, and to govern always with an eye toward increasing faith in government, to increase our residents' belief in the American experiment in democracy. As a spiritual person, I try to glean guidance from universal religious principles. In these difficult times, I believe we cannot hear too much from these words from the Old and New Testaments. This one from Leviticus: the alien who resides with you shall be to you as the citizen among you. You shall love the alien as yourself. For you were aliens in the land of Egypt. Leviticus 19:34. I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. Matthew 25:35. So thank you, volunteers, family, residents, and voters. I promise to do my best to be an ear for all, to lead with compassion and fairness, to inform as fully as possible. In short, to truly be the people's voice in City Hall.
Mr. Segwich, you're up.
Thank you, Lake Worth Beach, for placing your trust in me and granting me the honor of serving you. I'm deeply humbled by this opportunity and pledge to dedicate myself fully to the responsibilities ahead. First, I want to thank my incredible wife, Cheryl, who has been my rock throughout not one, but 2 election cycles. To my mom, thank you for your unwavering support and prayers. And to my late father, I owe a gratitude for instilling in me the moral fiber and work ethic to persevere through every challenge. A special thank you goes out to every supporter, each volunteer, friend, family member who invested time, effort, and belief in our shared vision for our community. Your tireless support made this victory possible, and I will always be grateful for your dedication. I also extend sincere appreciation to Commissioner Diaz for his devoted service to Lake Worth Beach and for the wisdom he's generously shared as I step into this role. To Mr. Richter, thank you for stepping forward and fully committing yourself to the democratic process. I eagerly look forward to collaborating with you both as we continue addressing the essential needs of our community. This campaign was genuinely special. We created a powerful coalition of residents, neighbors, and business owners from every corner of our community across the political spectrum. Regardless of your political views or background, Lake Worth Beach is your home, and your voice matters. Together, we will build bridges, foster understanding, and shape a united and thriving community, embracing our diversity as our greatest strength. Now it's time to roll up our sleeves and confront the challenges we've discussed over the recent months. Updating infrastructure, enhancing public safety, stabilizing finances, and nurturing an environment where businesses flourish. Visitors are welcome, and residents take pride in calling Lake Worth Beach home. Lake Worth Beach is like an uncut diamond full of potential. Let's shape it into the true jewel of the Palm Beaches. I promise to remain closely connected to each of you. Please hold me accountable. Your input, feedback, and participation are essential. Reach out, engage, and together we will guide Lake Worth Beach toward a brighter, stronger future. Thank you once again, and now let's get to work.
Thank you very much, both of you. Some of us have had our sleeves rolled up for a long time. Before we adjourn, I just want to thank the staff and the commissioners. We have, if you'd look around you, the old postcards of the city of Lake Worth have been blown up. And thank you, Mary Lindsay, for the little school, the little bookstore at the library. We purchased these from her, and Mimi took care of getting them reframed. Thank you very much. And the staff took great care in putting them up. And I think this is a wonderful way to show our dedication to the history of Lake Worth, not the people who were here 20 years ago, but to the place that we all love so much. So I just want to thank the staff and congratulate them doing a great job. Thank you very much. And what's really fun is like a lot of the places in those postcards are still there. So that's really one of the cool things about this display. So do I have a motion to adjourn? So do I have a second? What? Oh, second from Mr. Segwich. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
sorry, who made the original motion?
Mr. McVoy.